So this is the second video that I have recorded now for these EMEET StreamCam One wireless cameras. Not because I've changed my entire opinion about them, they're still a very cool concept. I'm just not really sure who they're for now. Now, first impressions were strange, and I thought these webcams could be a really cool piece of tech for streamers out there on a budget who wanted to show off more of their space with wide room shots, portrait shots, and top-down shots of their desks for unboxing purposes. However, I feel like streamers now have moved on so far from this point, instead really adopting the DSLR for its enhanced quality over webcams. Sure, the EMEET StreamCam One is wireless, and if you adopt DSLR setups, you're going to have HDMI cables and capture cards running all about the place. But even still, the wireless capabilities of the EMEET cameras have some huge limitations, which we'll cover in this video. Now, I will say now that buying 5 of these EMEET cameras is significantly cheaper than buying 5 DSLR cameras, so there is that, including capture cards as well. But anyway, let's dive into the nitty-gritty. The setup on the cameras was fairly easy. Both the phone app and desktop app really reflect each other nicely, though if you're using these on your desktop, you'll be connecting them to your home network over a 5 GHz connection, and on a phone you'll be utilizing Bluetooth. In either instance, you scan for the camera and click the connect to camera button and you're away. The customization options here are pretty seamless too, and the app and software is very nicely laid out with options for setting color filters, mirrored positioning, and even some more pro controls which allow you to adjust things like your exposure and color saturation. And you've even got simple controls on the main screen for recording video, taking screenshots, choosing which platform that you want to live stream to, which there are loads, and even setting the video feed up as a virtual camera. Now, this interested me a little bit as someone who likes to use OBS Studio to capture my content for YouTube, but this did have some limitations as the virtual camera could only be selected as a single feed. I couldn't find a way to pull in each individual camera into OBS Studio using the EMEET Stream software, and there is no hotkey or scene selection options to make life easy either. I had to physically interact with the EMEET Stream software with my mouse on my desktop to switch cameras. Now, let me know in the comments though if there is a way, because I couldn't find it for love nor money. But if you did plug them in using the included USB Type-C cables, you can select them as individual cameras, so go figure. Anyway, if you are an OBS user, this setup probably isn't going to be for you, so I would recommend sticking to the EMEET Stream software for the time being, which again came with some limitations and problems. Depending on the medium used to record, I found that there were some very hefty latency issues, and if I used my desktop to record in 1080p using the medium video latency option, it just caused absolute chaos with my video. And to remind you, the cameras at this stage are connected to my PC wirelessly using a 5 GHz bandwidth, and for transparency, I only have a Virgin Media Hub 4 here and no third-party router. Maybe something with faster wireless data transfer speeds would have been better, I don't know. I don't have the gear here to test that, unfortunately. The audio was absolutely fine, and my voice speaking into the included wireless lavalier microphone that comes with the cameras sounded okay, but there's no way you'll be using this footage for your own content creation. Just take a look at this example. So unfortunately, one thing that I have run into issues with is bandwidth or video quality or latency, or however you want to describe it. Whether my Wi-Fi or my wireless network here isn't good enough. I'm running through the Virgin router with a 5 GHz bandwidth, and this is the type of quality that I'm getting while recording through the EMEET Stream software. So I'm unsure what I'm doing wrong. And if I then switch over to the second camera, you can see that the angle has changed to camera number 2, but unfortunately the latency does still continue to affect the video quality. And audio? No, in my testing I've not heard, well, you can tell me now. The audio quality, I don't know why, but just doesn't get affected like the video does. So yeah, I've got no idea why this is happening, but this is the experience that I've had with this product. Dropping the quality down to 720p while keeping the mid video latency option just worked so much better. But it's 2025. Who's making videos in 720p anymore? Something like this, I think, would be fine for your podcast if you're going to be clipping them or using them on TikTok or Reels, but the video over wireless is still just incredibly noisy. Again, take a look at this example. Okay, for this next test, I have set my video resolution down to 720p, so both cameras now are recording at 720p, and I've also kept my video latency mode at that mid. And this is the kind of quality that I'm getting from camera number 1, as you can see. And then let me just go back to the second camera under devices and changed that. And now this is camera number 2, and this is the type of latency and video quality that I am getting with this camera at 720p. But it wasn't until I tested recording to my phone, where the cameras were then broadcasting over Bluetooth, that I could actually get somewhat of a usable picture when recording at 1080p on the medium video latency option. Again, take a look. So now I've started recording using my phone in 1080p with these EMEET cameras. I'm hoping now that the bitrate, because I am connected via Bluetooth as opposed to over my wireless network, I'm hoping that it's a lot smoother than I experienced when using these cameras with my PC behind me. So now I've just changed over to camera number 2, which is sitting in front of me on my left, probably on your right as you're looking at it. And for the most part, everything on my phone seems to be working quite nicely. Colors look really good, quality looks really good. As I said, it's 1080p. Maybe I'm just having issues with this camera while using it with a desktop over Wi-Fi. So this I thought was just somewhat bizarre, and I may be completely wrong about this, so apologies now. I'm not an expert in network speeds or anything like that, but I would have assumed that it would have been the other way around when it came to video quality. I would have assumed my wireless network would have been able to transfer far more data than Bluetooth to handle a 1080p video stream. However, again, even though I'd found a better way to capture content, I wasn't out of the woods yet, because every time I went back to the EMEET Stream app on my Google Pixel 7 Pro, after that initial launch and video test that I just did, the app kept crashing a lot. So much so that I had to uninstall the app and re-download it through the Play Store to get it working again. It's not the slowest or most unreliable phone on the market by any stretch, I don't think, though I kept having issues with it, which wouldn't be convenient if I wanted to get up and go and start creating content quickly. Having a wireless lavalier microphone on top of each camera though is a decent touch, and it means that if you have got multiple cameras and even multiple video hosts, you can give them a lavalier microphone each, and audio will be captured alongside your video seamlessly. And to charge them back up, all you need to do is hook them to the top of the cameras. They're magnetic, so they'll stay in place with no problem. I do also have a couple of concerns when it comes to the webcams, and two I think are pretty major. The first is there are no physical privacy shutters on the lenses. Now sure, you can power the cameras down when you're done with them, but if you need to plug them directly into a constant power source, then there's that. The second, which is also I think linked to privacy, is the fact that you're adding cameras to your wireless network in your house. Now, even though they don't show up as a wireless device under your wireless settings on, say, like a phone, I did see a couple of unknowns connected to my network when I logged into my router settings. Whether this poses any kind of security risks, I don't really know, but some privacy shutters would have been a nice just in case, right? Or am I alone in this one? Now, I did find all of this somewhat a shame, because I was really looking forward to getting these cameras integrated into my gaming setup so I could capture various angles when I'm creating content and making my videos look more interesting. But unfortunately, with that latency problem, they're a no-go from me. Maybe if I had a better router, who knows? Recording smoothly in 720p, unfortunately, does just feel a little bit dated now. And unfortunately, the video is still very noisy to get away with that in this day and age anyway. I'm not adverse to using webcams. I mean, hell, I'm still using the OBSBot EMEET 2 for my top-down desk shots in my keyboard and mouse review videos, and I think I have been spoiled somewhat by Elgato with their face cam as well. If you are a content creator who primarily uses their mobile phone, then maybe these could fit into your content needs, but again, I don't think the quality is there compared to some newer mobile handsets. It will be great for a podcast or maybe some kind of cooking show, or a talking head video like this one with the different angles, but again, the quality is going to suffer. They're a cool idea, don't get me wrong, and I think with some work there'd be a much better product. Maybe when wireless signals become better and data can be transferred at a faster rate. I know, obviously, the technology for such things does exist, but in a consumer-focused webcam like this, I've never seen it personally before. But comment down below if I'm wrong though, and let us know your thoughts on what you have seen today. I will say though, nice try EMEET, but 720p quality video is just a bit too old to be passable for today's content creation needs.